And we are back, Odell's Roundtable, and I'm joined by my second guest of the evening. This person right here, I consider a good friend, also helped me kick off Odell's Roundtable in the very beginning, at very humble beginnings, just recording multiple different places. He is an accomplished DJ that has played at all kinds of events, most recently the one Music Fest, but also helped to start organization called Hip Hop Gives Back that does so much great, amazing things. And it's been a slow grind, but he's continued to work at it. And now, is repeatedly working with schools. He is speaking, doing consulting, all kind of great things. I want to introduce you to my friend, DJ Knots.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I'm glad to have you.
Feels good to be back. Put it that way.
And like I was saying, it's funny because we talked about, you being someone who helped me with the roundtable when I first just had the idea, because this is like an idea, like I'm gonna do this thing, and you're like, I'll come through and whatnot, and you've always been showing love, and I appreciate that about you.
Honestly, I was just returning the favor, because you remember when we first started Hip Hop Gets Back, and I was telling you about the events we was doing. You was like, yo, I'm there.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, yo, we got new shirts. He's like, yo, I'm buying it.
No matter what it is, you know what I'm saying? That's true. That's true.
So all of it is more
about that.
Yeah, it's a mutualism of the friendship that I recognized. And it's like, yo, he's always been there for you. So you got this plan.
Right,
you got your niche and what you are great at.
Okay.
Whatever I could do. And it's always been like that.
I appreciate that. Also, too, it's funny, Knots, because, man, I always look at you as what they call a what's next guy. And what I mean by that is that it's so funny because, we both Aries.
Yep.
We both have very similar things, right? Similar attitudes and whatnot. And it's funny because, in this game sometimes, if you have a good relationship with somebody, you can vent, right? True. So most people you might not, but with you, I know you for a long time, so sometimes I'll vent. And what I love about it is you always let me vent, but after the end, you're like, what's next?
Yeah.
So what you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's always stuck with me because a lot of times people, they'll talk about something and then they just want to keep talking about it. You're like, oh, okay, that's a valid point, Odell. Oh, that happened? Oh, really? That happened?
Yeah.
Oh, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Like, where's all the always came from? Because you always had that attitude, and I appreciate that about you, brother.
Really came from no pity parties. I don't believe in that. It's like, I understand you gotta get stuff off your chest, something ain't go right. But it's like, all right, now that that's done,
right?
Let's go to work. You know what I mean? Because the day's not over. We still breathing. So let's go either get it back, create something new, improve on what we already got, and get to it.
Right.
Because we got more work to do. Simple as that.
You got more work to do. And that brings me to like Hip Hop Gives Back, right? Because it's one of those things where, we knew that in the media and things like that, they're not trying to highlight things that people are doing, good work that's being done or charitable work that's being done. Right. And it wasn't like you were going to sit around and wait for the media to try to do that. You were like, that same kind of attitude. You were like, wait a minute. There's a lot of good that's being done in hip hop. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna wait around for this to happen. We're gonna put this together. Yeah. Let's talk about the beginning and the genesis of that.
Well, like I know, we love this culture. This culture is part of our identity.
It is, man.
And we protect it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So not just respecting, but it's a protecting to keep it moving forward. Hence, our new shirt is the Culture Forward shirt.
Okay.
But in the beginning, it was just I got tired of hearing about all the negative stuff. Anytime a rapper was in any kind of bad news, that's all they would focus on.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't focus on the good stuff. So I was
charity,
like, you know what?
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the charity, the giving back, people donating money, feed the homeless events, and nobody's really covering it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I originally had the idea when I was back in college, but it didn't really formulate until 2008.
Okay.
When I got with my the co-founder Mike Del Police, and I was like, yo, I got this idea.
Right.
And we need to make this happen. So as soon as I told him about the idea, he's like, yo, I'm ready. Let's do it. He's like, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow. I'm out. You know what I mean? I was like,
whoa.
Hold on.
Yeah. Let's get to that point.
Let's get to that point. But it was just something that we knew there was a need for. Everything else was so much on the right. We was like, we got to bring the balance back just to show them what it's really about. Show the real truth about what was going on. So that was the original idea. Little did we know that was going to be the beginning of a journey that would get us out and about and do the mentoring and do the summer programs like we do now and working on special programs. You know what I mean? So when people say it came at a crux in my life where it was about finding your purpose and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's when it became aligned with me, and that's when things started moving.
Well, it's funny too because, like you said, right, it starts as an idea. Even like I said, I started the podcast, it's just an idea, it's a thought in your head. And then as you start aligning it and putting it together, it starts to grow to this thing. And so that's what's amazing about it now, because I think back, I mean, I'm looking back on it. I remember, you partnering with like Xbox store and something small and do. I mean, it started to get to a point where it was like, I remember telling our mutual friend Dre, I was like, hey, let's go to the mall. This thing and not going. He's like, what's he got going? He's like, I didn't even know this was going about. Like, so people see all this stuff now. They see you partnering with the schools, things of that sort. But you had to do, like, one of the things I talk about in the podcast. You had to go through those days where there was only a few people around, where there was no T-shirt sales, where there were doors being closed. Like, what was it that it was just a love of hip hop to help push you through that to get to another level?
It was the example that it was giving to let people know what was really going on.
Right.
So it was all about truth and authenticity of the culture. But then I noticed how many people, when we did come in contact, that it was affecting. Because I'll be out, I DJ and all that as well, obviously. And I'll be out at a club 2, 3 in the morning, people out drinking, having a good time, and somebody woke up to me and he'd be like, yo, I appreciate what you're doing with Hip Hop Gets Back. And I'm like, you tell me that now? I mean, I appreciate it.
Right.
But it's 2:30 in the morning. That's what's on your mind. They were like, yo, I don't, and most of these people, they don't like nothing, say nothing online, but they take that time to say, so I appreciate that. So with signs like that, like I said, going and talking to schools, and I'll see the kids years later, and they'll still remember me. They'll be like, yo, Hip Hop Gets Back and all that stuff like that. And they'll tell a quick story about what it meant to them at that time. So it's things like that that help you to keep going, know that you're making a difference. And it's like, yo, the possibilities are really limitless. Right. With a culture that's so big. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just about us. That's why we called it Hip Hop Gives Back and not DJ Knots Gives Back. It's about the culture and being inclusionary to other people to say, yo, if you represent the culture, any part of it, art, the media, not just artists, this is your opportunity to represent. That's why we like, yo, people use a hashtag so we can repost it, so we can get a record of it. You know what I mean? So,
well, and that's the thing, too. I'll say this, is that you've done a great job with partnering and partnerships, because I looking back on it, people that I know, even with curators of hip hop, I know them through an event that you invited me out and said, hey, Odell, come out, meet these guys. I'm like, okay, we go on to do other stuff and connect with them. Just Carolyn, Malachi, all kind of people. What's been the key, because we talk about on the podcast about building strong relationships and meeting people and everything. What's been some of your secrets, some of the things that have been able for you to partner with so many different other organizations and brands?
The common thread obviously is a culture and wanting to see people do better and giving back. Right. But it's also about, like you said, doing things in a culture that hasn't been done before. Some groundbreaking things, like let's combine these people together. They're like, they have a foot in hip hop, but they may be more on the political side, or they may make movies, like you said, about curators of hip hop and the great documentaries they've done, but they do a lot of great stuff in the community. So it was a lot of things that just made sense, with our partnership. So it was, one, knowing who we were and knowing what we wanted to do.
That's a great point, too. So you know who to align with.
Who to align with. And then I'm still a big energy person, man. We've had a lot of people come to us and say they want to do this and do that. They want to buy into the company, but the energy's all wrong and ain't not what we're looking for. We've had people try to use the name, especially in the beginning, use the name for their own personal gain, like in other states. And, we had to call the lawyers. I'm like, you need to go ahead and send that cease and desist. So it was really just seeing where their heart was at with it and what they were really trying to accomplish. Right. Because a lot of times,
what's their end game?
Yeah, exactly. What's the benefit? Who are we trying to help? What are we trying to change right now? Right.
Yeah. So real quick, as we go wrapping things up, give everybody like your social media, how they can get in contact with you, how they can get in contact with the organization, everything like that.
Easiest way is at Hip Hop Gives Back on across all social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My personal one is at DJ KNOTTS. The website for the culture and the community is hiphopgivesback.com. We also have a nonprofit like you were speaking about before. Right. That website is hiphopgivesback.org, the .org. But yeah, that's basically the easiest way to get in touch with us. Use one of those, use a hashtag Hip Hop Gives Back, and we'll find the information on there as well. Right. Yeah.
And just in closing, leaving with the people, you talk about the new culture forward. Like, what would you say right now would be one of the keys or one of the things you want to leave people with to try to push the culture forward, or what we might need to help keep pushing the culture forward?
The combining of opportunities. For example, we're helping to promote an event coming up here in Atlanta called the Afro-Caribbean Fest. Okay. And it's Afrobeat, dancehall, soca, and hip-hop. Okay. So having those different genres that people may not necessarily put together at one festival, right. and focusing on the cultures, it's those type of opportunities that say, hey, this is moving the culture forward. You know what I mean? This is what we need to focus on. You know, so that's a perfect example of one. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, also too, like I said, make sure you follow this brother. Like I said, I know him as a friend, so I'm a little biased, but now he is doing a lot of great work. But also too is that another thing about Knots, which is a great reminder, is that you want to have people around you that are not yes men, people that are going to really push you and look out for you. And that's one thing I love about Knots, because when I started back launching the podcast, he was one of the main people who was like hitting me in the chest, like, what are you going to do? Yeah. Like what you got going on? What are you waiting for? What are you going to do? So as another reminder, as I talked about in earlier episodes, is building that team. Get somebody around you. And like I said, it's not even from a chastising level.
No, you can chastise them. Go ahead. They need to hear. Go ahead.
I'm saying, but it's from a standpoint that you need somebody who knows how to push your buttons effectively.
Right.
So sometimes people just they push buttons for no avail. But Knots is somebody I can honestly say that he knows how to push my buttons very effectively, and I get to work because I'm like, wait a minute, wait till I see Knots again, because he is not going to do me like this.
I'm a professional button pusher. It's one of my gifts. I appreciate that. But you got to remember too, though. It's like, remember but the people may not know of how. The Ort show got me talking like Jerry. The ORT show we was talking about male and female relationships. So you called me and I'm like, you want me to talk about male and female relationships at a time when my longest relationship was like 3, 4. I'm like, yo, you really want me to come on and talk about it? But it was that growth and that opportunity that we saw, the similarities and the different conversations and the great moments that we had on that version of the ORT show.
Exactly.
So just keep going, brother. Just keep going.
I appreciate that. And also, too, what's even great about that is even we talk about hosts and everything like that, and Tiara and Alita, Patrina, Dre Day, all these people who have come through and everything. So it's just amazing. So, like I said, make sure you follow Knots. Make sure you follow Hip Hop Gives Back and contribute, and just check out everything he has going on, because it's amazing work. So,
appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, man. Listen, this is Odell for Odell's Roundtable. Going to go ahead and close out tonight. We've had a lot of great discussion tonight. I mean, shout out to Willpower. Shout out to DJ Knots. I appreciate everybody for coming through. We have some more great guests. We're going to keep this coming up next week, so stay tuned. And also, shout out to Live Hip Hop Daily. Make sure you follow them on all social media. Follow Jay Black and his Ohio State Buckeyes.
OSU.
How can the people follow you, Jay Black?
You can follow me at Jabari Blackman. That's my personal page, or you can follow my network at Innovative Black Station.
Innovative Black Station. All right. Okay. So listen.
IBS.
So check it out. So listen, like I said, make sure you. One thing I want to leave you with as well is that there's no gimmicks. There's no shortcuts. Put the work in. Both my guests tonight. You might see them flourishing now, but trust me, they've been working for a long time. I've had the pleasure of seeing it in the beginning. And one thing we talked about is persevering and pushing through, and I appreciate them encouraging me to push through, and I encourage you to push through and keep going what you're doing. This is Odell for Odell's Roundtable, and we out.